Super chilled liquid oxygen, which, like I mentioned earlier, is our propellant oxidizer, is what's creating those white clouds that you see right there. That occurs when that super chilled LOX is exposed to warmer ambient air, so completely normal. First stage should be finishing up prop loading at T-minus 3 minutes, and the second stage, 60 seconds. Falcon 9 will move into startup. This means that the rocket's autonomous internal flight computers have taken over the launch countdown. The Starlink payload continues to be healthy. The F-19 continues to track no issues on the rocket. Weather is looking good, and the range is green for launch.
Shockwave motors close out. Stage 1 LOX load complete.
So there we just heard the call out that LOX load is complete on first stage. Like I mentioned before, second stage continues to get topped off. Everything continues to look good for an on-time liftoff this morning.
Stage 2 LOX load close out.
LOX loading on second stage is now complete. Falcon 9 is now fully loaded with 1 million pounds of liquid kerosene and super chilled liquid oxygen.
Ground gas closeouts discerning.
Can you come over here? Alright. T-minus 59 seconds.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
There we heard the call out that Falcon 9 is in startup. The flight computers have taken over the launch sequence. First and second stages are now beginning to pressurize for launch.
LDs go for launch. Stage 2 pressing for flight.
T-minus 30 seconds.
At T-minus 30 seconds, all systems are go for launch. Let's listen in to the final countdown and watch as Falcon 9 takes our Starlink
Stage 1 tanks
satellite
pressing for flight.
to orbit.
T-minus 15 seconds.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff.
That's so dark.
Vehicle switching downrange. M1D performance is nominal.
It's a nice little rocket.
Successful liftoff for Falcon 9 from pad
Power
39A
telemetry nominal.
at Kennedy Space Center. There we just heard that power telemetry is nominal. Moments ago, we began to throttle the 9 Merlin engines that you see. They're propelling the first stage through the atmosphere. We began to throttle them down in preparation for max Q. also known as the...
XQ.
All right, there we heard the call out. The vehicle just went through the moment in which it experiences the greatest aerodynamic pressure. In about a minute, we're going to have 3 events happening back to back. First will be main engine cutoff, or MECO, where all 9 M1D engines will shut down and slow the vehicle in preparation for event number 2, stage separation. As the name indicates, this is where the first and second stages will separate. There we heard the call for MVAC engine chill, indicating that the second stage is preparing for that stage sep and ignition of MVAC. After stage separation, stage 1 will start to make its way back to Earth for its landing on our drone ship, and stage 2 will continue its journey along with the third event, SCS1, or second engine start 1, where MVAC will ignite and begin to propel the second stage along with the Starlink satellites to orbit. Expecting MECO in about 10 seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. MECO attempt.
MECO.
MECO.
Stage separation
Alright.
confirmed.
Yeah.
All right, on your screen there we have visual confirmation of those
MVAC
3
has
events. MVAC is now ignited and beginning to develop that warm orange glow. The next event we have coming up is fairing deployment.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There on your screen, we now see those 60 Starlink satellites. Those fairings will make their way back to Earth as well. Like I mentioned before, we won't be able to bring live coverage of the recovery attempt for those fairings, as they'll be happening after we close our webcast. So be sure to check in on our social media accounts for updates on that. Second stage telemetry looks good. Everything is nominal there. Now, as it heads towards its targeted drop-off orbit, first stage, there on the left-hand side of your screen, will execute 2 burns in order to make its way back to Earth. There on the left-hand side of your screen, we see the first stage continuing to coast. After stage separation, after main engine cutoff and stage separation,
Acquisition of signal Bermuda.
it actually continues on an upward trajectory. About 132 kilometers, and right about now it should have reached its apogee and now beginning to make its descent, coasting using its grid fins.
Both
And
vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
good call out there, indicating nominal trajectory. Everything's looking good for both the first and second stages. Like I mentioned before, first stage will be performing 2 burns, the first being the entry burn, where 3 of the M1D engines will reignite. This helps to slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper part of the Earth's atmosphere. About 2 minutes later, the second stage